What's up, Forward family? It's Forward Fabian. I'm back again with a video for the channel, man. I'm actually doing a reaction to a cop realizes that a cop realizes the father executed his kids. What happens when a cop realizes the father executed his kids? This is from Mind Behind the Crime. It dropped August 26th. Over 300,000 views, 3.2K likes, man. Y'all know I tend to do reactions to crime docs, criminology, interrogations, arrests, all types of forms of police encounter reactions, you know what I mean? So, hey, crime fan here, bro. Can't help it. So, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do have a playlist page to where it's called the PD playlist, where I put police type of videos in that playlist. I'll link to that in the description as well as pin it in the comment section down below. Peace, love to everybody who takes time out to watch the videos, man. God bless y'all. Much love to y'all. If you have additional recommendations, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, engage with the content. Only helps me as a content creator. And if you want to check out my library of videos, go to the playlist page on my channel to see my whole library of reaction content. So let's go ahead and hop right into the video, man.
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us!
Air Clear's gonna go ahead and fly whenever any.
They being real gentle for somebody who murdered his whole family or all his kids.
What could possess a parent to take their own child's life? And just how twisted would they have to be to not only consider such a horror, but to plan it for months? This is the ongoing case of Chad Dowerman, father of 3, who executed his kids for no apparent reason. On a seemingly ordinary afternoon on the 15th of June 2023, police were called out to Claremont County, Ohio, following 2 911 calls from passerby who had been approached by a terrified girl on the road.
911, where's your emergency?
There's a girl running down the street being like her stepfather is killing everyone in her family. It's on the corner of where there's a body shop and the fire department. Do you know what road this is?
Okay, what's your name?
Give it into the fire department.
What's your name?
Do you know what road this is? Laura Lendell Road.
You said what?
It's Laura Lendell Road.
Earlier that afternoon, Dowerman came home from work early and asked his wife to join him in the master bedroom for a nap with their 3 sons, Chase, Hunter, and Clayton. While his stepdaughter was in the next room watching TV, Dowerman suddenly took out a rifle and shot his 4-year-old Hunter twice in the head. The girl, who was just 12 years old, rushed in to find her mother trying to protect the injured son from Dowerman, who fought viciously and even bit his wife to get the boy. In a desperate move, his wife grabbed the rifle. This resulted in her being shot in the hand and forced to drop her son into Dowerman's line of fire.
Did you say how or what was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family.
While the mother fought for her little boy's life, the young girl told her remaining brothers to run as far as they could and fled the scene beside him. The 7-year-old Clayton made it 300 feet into a nearby field before being gunned down from behind by his father. Dowerman then went on for his stepdaughter, who was attempting to carry her last brother, 3-year-old Chase, to safety. When he caught up to him, he demanded she put him down and try to fire at him. Fortunately, his gun was jammed. Now separated, the last son ran back to the house where he was caught by Dowerman, while the stepdaughter escaped to the nearby fire department to seek help.
What? So it sounded like he was really specific in trying to eliminate his kids, because he's not really trying to harm the stepdaughter. He's just trying to kill his own sons. Bruh, what could drive somebody to try to make a plan like this? And obviously he executed it. I don't even know. Hopefully they give some further context into what his motive was.
But I think she ran to the fire department.
So she went to the fire station. What did she look like? Did she say anything about a baby?
I don't know about no baby. She said she just couldn't leave her family.
Officers arrived on scene at approximately 4 p.m. to discover the shooter, 32-year-old Chad Dowerman, sitting calmly by the door. He's unresponsive to commands provided by law enforcement, and so the officers approached the home.
Show us your hands now! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up! Stand the f*** up!
EMS, the stage, and air crew is going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands over here. 72. Tell me 21. It's in the air.
Upon inspection, the officers are confronted with a scene straight out of a horror movie. On the ground lies a mother, screaming beside her children's bodies while their father watches, utterly emotionless.
This is the face of a clown. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh. This right here, bruh. Coward. Coward. Cowardly. I don't understand. You know, when people resort to murder and like that's the only thing they got, I don't know, it's like their solution to everything. I don't understand it. You know, in times where mothers kill their children, or parents just in general kill their children, or people kill people at all. You know, husbands kill wives, wives kill husbands, and it's like all you had to do was, you know, separate from that person, separate from that individual, whoever you had some type of, you know, malice towards. Get away from them, exit their lives. He could have easily been a deadbeat dad, just taken off if he had thoughts of trying to harm his children. I mean, he probably had a psychotic break. You know what I mean? Obviously, the dude's not mentally stable. But still, once you start, if you understand that you're having these type of thoughts, you know, the best thing you can do is remove yourself. Why go through with the plan like this? What do you gain from this? That's why somebody, the people that do this type of thing gotta be just crazy. Because like, why would you do that one to your children, to infants or toddlers or kids, man? Harmless. Kids are harmless individuals, man. But then to put yourself in a predicament like this, just remove yourself if you don't want to be a part of that family. Remove yourself if you don't want to be a part of that relationship. But when people resort to just taking somebody's life, it's just unfathomable. It's just like, it just makes you understand that some people just, they got some screws loose. That's just the best way to sum it up. They're just not, the way they think is not coherent.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a
63,
day in my
we're
life.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Doberman's attitude is unnatural. Here he can be heard telling officers that he means no harm and has not consumed any alcohol or drugs. He assures them he's not insane and even kindly warns them about his dog.
Go on, man.
Hey, are you copying all this? Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing.
This guy, he don't even know what happened.
Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
His claim that there's nothing going on is a shocking contrast to his wife's desperate cries that can be heard repeatedly throughout the footage from the crime scene.
Hey, kids down 16 feet up.
Gatlin!
63, we're 21.
Knock
Have
it off.
EMS respond over here.
Well, this is Ohio. I'm
You're
thinking,
further
where
being
did this
advised.
happen again?
There were 9 shots fired in total that afternoon, with one of the boys shot once and the other 2 shot 4 times each. Strangely, he made no attempt to murder his wife or stepdaughter,
what I'm
despite
saying.
knowing that they alerted the authorities.
You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude.
Dang, it's bruh said, shut up, bro. Like, I can't even fathom what police officers have to deal with. You know, sometimes police officers try their best to not let emotions get involved, but bro, like, if you pulled up on the scene and you saw a father did this to helpless children, you're gonna be angry. You know, and we can see this anger coming out. Shut up, bro. We don't need you speaking to us. You killed some children, dog. Like, I don't want to have no conversation with you. I really just want to, you know, mop the floor with you.
You have the right to remain silent. You can use it.
Doberman disturbingly has no reaction as he marched past their bodies by the police.
See how
and
they
seems
grabbing him
oddly
too?
comfortable with the officers apprehending.
Buddy grabbed
He
him real
marched
aggressive,
past their
like he
bodies
said,
by
"Come
the
here."
police, and seems oddly comfortable with the officers apprehending him. But after one night in police custody, reality finally started to sink in. Visibly distressed, Doberman refuses to wear the jumpsuit provided and resists multiple officers as they fit his handcuffs, preparing him for his first arraignment with a judge in court. There he will hear the charges brought against him for the first time and be faced with both media and prosecutors, a realization which hits him suddenly outside the courtroom.
I know. Dad, look at me. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. No, I know. Just take a deep breath for me, okay? I'm going to have your public defender come back and talk to you, okay? And then we're going to go out and we're going to do your hearing. Can you hear me? Do you need a second? Just take a deep breath.
With Doberman's former bravery gone, he's clearly petrified and struggling to withhold his panic. Once he regained control of his emotions, an officer explains the process of the initial hearing. He's warned about the media and told to pay attention to the judge alone.
Use media out there, okay? When you walk out, you'll see a piece of black tape on the floor. All I need from you is to stand on that piece of black tape, face the judge only, and just listen. They'll say that you have the right to remain silent, and I advise you to use that, okay? Because everything in there is recorded. So I want you, again, just to stand there, look at the judge only. Don't turn to the media, don't turn to anybody in the audience that you may know. Listen to the judge and let your public defender do the talking for you, okay? Do you have any questions for us?
It's clear that Doberman's struggling to pay attention. He may even be experiencing an episode of dissociation.
Shock. Buddy's shocked right now. I don't really understand how a lot of times people will say they blacked out. They don't recall what happened. And I don't know. I'm not a murderer. I don't commit heinous crimes like this. But it could be true that they just go to a place of disassociation, like they just mentioned. They don't want to be tied to it in the moment, and even after the fact, they try to distance themselves from what had happened. For some reason, this case reminds me of the Watts family murders. You know, Chris Watts, who killed his pregnant wife and 2 daughters, I believe. There were 2 daughters, yeah. He killed them, I guess, due to like having like a mistress or something like that. He had a lady on the side. He wasn't happy in his relationship, so his solution was to murder his family. Where does logic come in, bro? Like, the fact that people think that they can, like, one, it's obviously if you got ethics and morality, you know it's wrong. But it's just dumb to me that people think they can get away with it. Because think about it, bro. We're human beings. We have outlandish thoughts at times. I'm sure people day to day who are normal individuals, functioning individuals in society have some of the craziest thoughts. But do they actually enact on them, or do they actually try to put these thoughts or into action or into play? No, bro, we're human. Sometimes we probably have some wild thoughts, but we know how to cut it off and not, exhibit these actions or do these things in reality, in the actual world. But the fact that people, one, don't have no type of moral compass. 2, aside from that, they don't consider the fact that they're spending the rest of their life in prison, death penalty, whatever state you're in. You know what I mean? Like, it's confusion to me. That's why I always just fall back on mental illness. Something's gotta be off there. Something's gotta be just not functioning properly for you to actually commit these type of crimes and take action. But yeah, same with the Chris Watts story. Wild.
A defense mechanism in which the mind emotionally detaches from its surroundings as a response to intense feelings of stress or trauma. It's not uncommon for criminals in Doberman's position to experience dissociative episodes. This might explain his lack of emotion at the crime scene. After being numb for so long, his nervous system is now being flooded with all the feelings he was holding back. Doberman arrives in the courtroom. The prosecutor lists his crimes in detail, describing this as a case of unspeakable horror.
Judge, I asked the court in setting this bond to just begin to imagine their fear.
His attorney's even struggling to defend this dude, bro. I can't imagine attorneys who take up for obviously guilty culprits, you know what I mean? Guilty suspects, whatever, bro. Like, and then sometimes when there's no real proof, or they're still trying to come to some type of solution when it comes to a crime being committed, right? Like, if somebody's getting falsely accused, that's one thing. But it's one thing when you know blatantly that they did it. So it's like, what do you really defend at that point? Like, what is that attorney really? What are you really representing at that point? What, a more lenient sentencing, or? Cause I couldn't, bro. If you got heart, I mean, if you got it, some type of ethics, you can't represent someone like this, bro. I just don't. Like, I don't know.
This was the man that every day they woke up looking to for protection, love, guidance in all things. Man they trust more than any other person on earth. Person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world, he was their guardian.
Cold-faced.
And he executed them in cold blood. We know that from his admission.
According to a statement from the murderer himself, it's revealed that this act of violence was not an accident. It was a calculated execution.
To make things even more disturbing, Judge, this was no haphazard act. Again, by his own admission, he planned the events of this day. This did not happen on a whim.
Dowerman had allegedly been planning to kill his sons for months, ever since way back to October 2022. It's also reported that he hadn't slept for 3 to 4 days prior to the incident. What continues to confuse both detectives and reporters alike is why he did it. What motive would a father, even an abusive one, have to execute all 3 of his own children?
He's confessed to what I believe is the worst crime, at least I hope, that I'll see in my lifetime. I hope it's the worst fact pattern that ever comes before this court.
At this point, Dowerman is visibly crying, which should suggest remorse, but until now he hasn't seemed capable of such an emotion. His vicious character has been confirmed by neighbors, who described him as a man with a temper, who was constantly heard yelling, and was known to be cruel to his wife.
He was just a very angry man. Like, he just was always yelling at his wife and his kids, and you just really don't pay no attention to stuff like that, and then this happened.
This testimony certainly aligns with Dowerman's criminal record. As the prosecutor notes, he had one previous charge of domestic violence in 2010.
As his prior record goes, Judge, it is fairly minimal. He was charged with domestic violence in 2010. He is not, to my knowledge, on probation community control.
However, Dowerman's father, Keith, had actually defended his son's character. He went on record saying, "That wasn't Chad standing at the arraignment. I could tell in his eyes, he's hollow inside." Keith himself had no explanation for the killings, and said his son simply snapped.
Judge, the facts of this case are hopefully like no other we will ever see. When this case gets indicted in the Court of Common Pleas, I am certain that a no bond hearing will be held, and I would hope that would be granted. But at this point, at this juncture, we're going to ask this court to issue a bond we've never asked for before. I'm going to ask for a bond of $20 million. And I hope I never need to request such a bond again.
The prosecutor requested his bail to be set at a staggering $20 million, a tactic to ensure he would appear before court at his appointed trial date, and that he would not be released from police custody before that time. A judge will typically set a bail bond at an astronomical level in cases such as these, where the defendant is charged with a violent crime or deemed a flight risk. It's quite evident here that Dowerman has been determined as both. While the facts of this case are continuing to take shape, the prosecutor has gone on record, stating that he sees this as a death penalty case. As such, he wants Dowerman executed for his crimes, a fitting punishment for a man who brutally executed his own sons.
That these are men and women with families, children, feelings, emotions. They're not some automaton performing a delegated function. They're people.
It's not yet confirmed what Dowerman's sentence will be, But one thing's for sure, this man needs to pay the ultimate price for his inhumane crimes. And if you enjoy true crime content like this, make sure you're subscribed to see more.
I don't know about a flight risk. I would assume that he's probably just a harm to himself. You see how unstable he is, how unstable he looks. I think if you kind of left him to his own devices, buddy would probably kill himself. You know what I mean? Look like he just lost. But this is an unfortunate story. Like, I don't know if we'll ever get down to the reasoning, the motive. But, man, prayers out to that mother losing these children, you know what I mean? That family who's hurting due to the actions this man chose to take. So, sad stories. I know these stories are very, you know, sad at times. You know, they're sad all the time. Not at times, but you know what I mean. And just in the context of, you know, these stories aren't ever something to really, you know, be happy about. And we just see kind of the hurt and pain and kind of the things that people in the world are going through and dealing with, man. And this one takes the cake. I don't know. There's a lot of these murder cases that have kind of been just wild in the past few years. I mentioned the Watts murders. It's just, I don't understand, man. I really don't understand. But, you know, this is the reality of the world we live in. These things will keep happening. Just got to take proper precaution. And some may say, what does that even look like? Just be aware of who you're keeping around your kids. I guess aware of certain reactions or certain mood swings, emotional responses that you see from people in your lives. You know what I mean? Maybe you could get them help before anything goes too left, or before they hurt anybody or themselves. So let me know y'all's thoughts on this one in the comment section below, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, for Fabian Road to a Million, man. Check out the playlist, and we'll catch you guys in the next video, man. God bless y'all.